Hi, I'm Amber with Solutions for Simplicity. This channel is about giving you easy ways to live a less crazy life, how to simplify things so that you have more time and energy for who and what matters to you. Today, I want to give you 10 easy ways to cut back on social media to free up time for what does really matter. I want to give you 10 tips, 10 very practical things that you can do to use social media less. These are going to range from things that are pretty easy and simple all the way up to things that take a good deal of discipline and control. As always, if you're excited for this video, give it a big thumbs up. Make sure and subscribe if you are new. I make new videos every Thursday all about planning, prioritizing, productivity, time management, and that elusive thing we call work-life balance. And I am so excited to share these tips with you now. Okay, tip number 1 for how to use social media less is to choose just one platform to be on. Maybe it's Instagram, maybe it's Facebook, maybe it's TikTok. There's a whole bunch of different social media programs out there. But I think one of the ways that we lose so much time is by trying to connect on all of them. And so, of course, we might be wasting time or even repeating the same kinds of communication or same actions on different platforms. I would encourage you to figure out one, maybe two, where you get the most sense of community or that are the most useful for your personal or professional life, and then really just focus on those and stop using the other social media platforms as much. Number 2 is super easy. That is to use the platform or the social media app to alert you when you have reached a designated amount of time that you only want to be spending in that program. All of the social media applications actually have this feature where you can set yourself to be notified when you have reached that threshold. And you still will then have to, control yourself and say, okay, my time is up for the day, which can get hard to do, especially if we're really engaged with something on social media. But at least we will see that reminder and we can no longer deny that we've already spent X amount of time there. Number 3 is huge, and I would encourage you to do this no matter what other solutions you also adopt. It is so important to turn off notifications on all of your social media apps. Do not let yourself be distracted every time that little ding goes off telling you have a new DM or someone has posted something new or responded to your post, right? We need to be able to focus, especially when we're working or when we're having conversations with real live people. And we also don't want to let our day get derailed from the very beginning with all of these constant alerts and messages and things that are beckoning for our attention. We want to be in control of our time. So one of the best ways to use social media less is to turn off notifications and only have specific times of the day where you check those social media apps. Now, if that temptation to check social media is still too strong, even with notifications turned off, the 4th thing you can do is turn your phone in airplane mode or even put it in a separate room, somewhere where it's not right next to you and you're not tempted to pick up your phone and look at it every single few minutes, right? For instance, oftentimes when I am working, if something is taking a while to load online or I just feel like, I need a quick break, it is so tempting to pick up my phone and think that I'm just quickly gonna check Instagram or whatever, and instead I'll find something really neat or I'll end up wasting a lot more time than I intended. So I hate to admit it, but I have to be really intentional and leave my phone in a separate place where I will hear it if, say, someone is texting me or calling and there's a real need or emergency, but I am not tempted to just pick it up and look at social media all the time. Number 5 is a fun one. I would suggest that you set a challenge for yourself. You now know how much time you're spending on social media every day, so why not make it a game or a contest to try and use social media a little bit less every single day? Even if it's just a couple of minutes less each day. You could repeat this contest over and over and you would see gradual improvement because of course you want to win. You're playing for those high stakes in your mind to see if you can control yourself and you can beat yesterday's record. I don't know, it's just an idea, but give it a try and see if it works for you. All right, we're starting to get into some of the more serious or real strategies for using social media less. Number 6 is to use a formal program or application like Way of Life, for instance, that allows you to track 3 different habits for free, or of course they have paid versions. It works on Android and iOS, and it's a really intuitive interface, but it really enables you to set these goals and track your habits so that you can actually see that you are decreasing your social media usage each day. You can also use this for other kinds of habit tracking. It doesn't have to be just social media, but I love this program because it really enables you to see your progress and set little goals for yourself and so forth. So very handy. Check it out if you haven't heard of it. Number 7 is to play Fort Knox with yourself and physically lock your phone away in a drawer or a safe or some other place where you cannot get to it for a set amount of time. I know this might sound a bit extreme, but I think you know, if it applies to you, that sometimes we have to go that extra effort to set the physical obstacles in front of ourselves to keep ourselves from doing things we're not supposed to be doing. Sometimes we mean so well, but the actual temptation is just more than we can resist. So if you make it harder for yourself to physically pick up your phone, harder to access social media, then you will of course make progress towards cutting back on your social media usage. Number 8 is that there are other applications like the program Flipped that can actually turn your phone back into a dumb phone and really disable all features for the amount of time that you tell it. This is a great productivity tool because even though you would be tempted to check your phone or turn to social media, if you use a program like this, you are giving that program the power to restrict your usage because it basically takes all of those things and hides them on your phone for a set amount of time. That way, even if you wanted to check social media, you couldn't until the time that you specified on this program is up. Number 9 is something that I have definitely had to resort to, especially on the weekends when I want to be that much more present with my kids and my family and make sure that I am not distracted by social media. That is to delete the app from your phone. Now, of course, deleting the app from your phone erases all of the data that is in it. It doesn't delete your account, but it takes the program away so that you can't access it as handily as you used to be able to. You would have to physically log in on a computer or through an internet browser, which you can still do on your phone, but again, it's setting up that series of hurdles that you would have to manually override if you wanted to access social media. Now, you can always reinstall the app at a later time, and this is honestly what I do. I delete the app from my phone on the weekends and then maybe reinstall it during the week when I have something important to post for my business or some other thing that I need to do on social media. Either way, it is in your power to remove the app so that it's not right in front of your face all the time and you're not tempted to open it up and use it. Finally, number 10 is to delete or deactivate your social media accounts altogether. I imagine this sounds pretty extreme, and I am not here to say that that is the right answer for you, but it is an answer. And if social media is something that you are struggling with, if it makes you feel worse about your life, if it is taking away time from what you could or should be doing, then it might be time to have a really hard, open conversation with yourself about whether engaging in social media is the right thing. I would encourage you to use this strategy only after you've tried all the other ways I've given you to cut back on your social media usage. But remember that it is possible. There is no law saying that you have to be on social media. You can always deactivate your accounts for a certain amount of time. And then if after a couple of weeks you're missing it or you feel like you'll be able to have a better handle on it, you can always join back up and reactivate your account down the road. But again, give yourself the chance to see what life is like without having social media a part of it. Now, I want to interject here that I was actually not ever on social media until about a year ago when I started it for business purposes. I had avoided it for so many years because I both knew that I might succumb to the temptation to use it too much, and I just really kind of resented what I saw in other people who were letting their phones rule their lives. Well, fast forward, and of course, I ultimately caved to the temptation, and then now that I'm on social media, I really am ashamed at how much time I have spent, oftentimes under the guise of business. It's just very easy to blur the lines between our personal and our professional lives, and when we need to use our devices or social media for work, I think we need to be really careful to make sure that we are setting healthy boundaries. If you have other ideas or tips for how to do this, let me know in the comments below, because I want us all to encourage each other and really work on living more in the real world with the people around us and pursuing the things that we love instead of just living in this maybe fake world that is social and strictly online. All right, which of those tips are you thinking of trying? Do they sound like they will help? Do you have other ideas? I would love if you let me know in the comments what you think of all these tips. I want to give you these very actionable strategies to reclaim your time and get more meaning in your life. So jump straight into these videos. Make sure that you subscribe before you go, and I'll see you back next time. Have a great day.